All right, we'll do the best we can quickly here to try to figure out how in the world do you contain some of the zone read. When you hear zone read and you watch Andrew Luck on the first third down of the game take it the distance, and you watch Arizona's Matt Scott, Taylor Martinez from Nebraska, and now you bring for the Huskies the greatest challenge in all of college football at this scheme, the University of Oregon at their place, the #1 offense in America, the most prolific at running this system. And in a nutshell, let me just try to highlight a few of the key elements to this zone read and why it's so successful and why it burdens your defense so tremendously. And the one thing that Chip Kelly does, so this is going to be very elementary and very basic in its concept. And what I want to do is take a play that I've drawn up a little bit with the Seahawks already, and that is that strong side zone play that you've seen Justin Forsett and Marshawn Lynch both cut back. So let's just look at a simple defense against a very base formation, which Oregon does very little of, by the way. They very rarely just line up and show you a formation. They're usually exploding, they're motioning, they're shifting, they're bringing in different personnel. They're constantly disguising where this zone's going to go, who they're going to target. So this, again, is all the way back at the preschool level of this. And even with this, you're going to see the challenges of stopping this play with their personnel. So let's just call this 67T. Again, that's more of a West Coast term. It's going to be a zone. And in the traditional 67T versus this alignment, that zone concept, remember the zone you're trying to is an offensive line move and zone off. And in this case, you're going to leave this defender unblocked, thinking he's got to honor the play action pass and some of the other fake that he's not going to crash down. And you start to see some pretty good angles for everybody to get onto the lineman, and really actually tremendous angles. So we're going to start here. He's got a difficult block. He's got to hold the edge. You've got a 2-on-1 here to the linebacker. You've got a 2-on-1 to the linebacker, and really you've got an extra tackle pushing and flowing and getting everything in this direction, because you can leave this guy, as Oregon does, unblocked. And when you run that zone read to the strong side, this LaMichael James, #2 in America, with this movement, and you start to wash people away, this defensive end goes unblocked. And for the Oregon Ducks, when they get this much movement, and how many times have you seen this against the Washington Huskies? Have you seen it with Justin Forsett and Marshawn, that movement away and that seam to the backside? And that's where this end has got to be so careful. And we talked to Steve Sarkisian today, and you ask him, who does this zone read concept burden? And he says, listen, there's guys assigned. You watch the film of Oregon, there are people assigned to the running back, people assigned to the quarterback. And we're not even including here, in this case, the safeties, and a Nate Fellner that can come down, and a Nate Williams that can come down strong side. You have people unblocked. The problem is the play happens so fast. There is so much movement. There is so much going on that their eyes, they don't always trust it. And with all that massive motion, trust their eyes and their concept and their man and their assignment of who they have. So it burdens it tremendously. And then what Oregon will do off of that, obviously, is he's going to read this defensive end. That's the quarterback in the base sense. And if he chases the play down, well, the quarterback keeps, and they're outside. If he stays there, he gives to LaMichael James, and then they go about 8 different wrinkles. They're going to run play action pass off that. If these safeties come down, then they're going to run a swing route. If this nickel guy starts to crash off the end, they can. I mean, they have. I think that is probably the best description of Oregon. They have mutations of their system, okay, to beat really anything you want to throw at them. And you read Nick Holt this week say, hey, listen, we got to simply line up. We're trying to line up to all their formations and keep it simple. Well, they've got that figured out, and now they've got chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, and they're going to see what you're going to do and how you're going to attack it. Are you going to bring an extra safety in the box, or bring the nickel in the box and the safety down? And if so, well, guess what? Now you leave one safety in the middle, man coverage outside, and you have the second leading receiver in the Pac-10 with 9 touchdowns. They just make your job defensively incredibly difficult because of all that they do within a very simple play.